Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be creating mini art books. And what's really cool about these mini art books is you can use them for whatever you want. For these books we will be using some thread, but feel free to use whatever you have available. Now, I created this book back in university, so it's a mixture of some images as well as a very short poem. My needlework is definitely not the fanciest, but it's all about enjoying the process. Your book can be any size, but here is my pen for a size comparison. Here is a suggested list of materials, but feel free to use whatever you have available. So here are some of the materials I used for my small book project. Now, again, these are just suggested materials, but I like to use whatever I can find. I usually have a lot of odds and ends lying about. So I ended up getting rid of the watercolor palette and just decided to use a variety of pens and markers for this project. I have to say that these materials here are some of my favorites. I did borrow this color pencil from my mom, who was actually making her own book right across from me. So let's get started. I ended up using my watercolor palette as a drawing guide. I didn't actually paint with it, but it worked. Now, you're going to go ahead and measure the exact size that you want. I don't have any specific measurements for you, so play around to see what feels the best. Now, once you've decided on the size of your book, you're going to go ahead and measure the center and cut the strip of paper in half. Now, I'm actually using the watercolor palette again to give me a straightish line, and this is where I'm now going to cut down the center. Take your two individual strips of paper, layer them on top of one another, and you're going to trim any excess paper that's sticking out on the sides. Now fold your book in half, and you can crease it using the handle of the scissors or trim any remaining pieces of paper that are sticking out. Here is a size comparison of the book I made a few years ago as well as our current book. Once you've figured out what your book is going to be about, you're going to then decide if you're going to design every single page or some of them. I decided that I wanted to create a self-care book. Now, these are some of the techniques or things I like to utilize to take care of myself. And this is just a small snippet of things I like to do. You're welcome to create your own self-care book or create something different. This is a budget-friendly activity that can be done with all ages. For this next part, you're going to want to thread your needle, and I like to insert the needle in between the pages just to hide the first initial knot. Once you do that, you're going to weave the needle and thread in and out both pages of the book. I like to go back and thread a little extra for a little more reinforcement, especially because the thread that I'm using is really, really thin. Here you'll see me reinforcing the pages by threading the needle all the way at the top and pulling it through. Then I repeat the process on the other side. You want to make sure that your thread stays intact, so the best way to do that is to make sure you knot the end. And I like to knot the end a few times just to be sure. Cut the remaining thread and be sure to save it to use it for a different project. I really love how small this book is. It's such a great way to be reminded of all the things that one can practice when experiencing some distress. This little book can be dropped in a little pocket, or it can be packed in a backpack, or you can gift it to a friend. When I create these little books, I feel that my imagination runs wild. Again, there are so many different things that you can create with this book. It's time to color in each page. I personally like to color in pages after I've sewn the book together. Some people like to do it beforehand. It's entirely up to you. And there you have it, your own miniature book. I hope this activity inspires you. There's something so beautiful about imperfect little creations. I wonder what you'll create. Will it be a book of poems, an art book, a story, a mini biography, or a love letter to yourself? Whatever you decide to do, I hope you do it filled with love and compassion. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed today's activity, click the subscribe button, like, comment, and share this video. See you all next time.